This is the mystery font. And the sun is just making it. Just now moving from this room Hello, it's Tim. You see, I can adjust the camera obscura somewhat. The sunlight is coming from the intersection of Fremont, Free Humanity, and 42nd Avenue, 42, the meaning of life. Now, this is not of astrological significance, but if there were a Little Street and a King Boulevard, I'd say, let's do the meeting. And here at the intersection of Free Humanity and the meaning of life, it's the mystery font. The transit of the sun at this time of the year makes it back here, all the way up off the floor. With this angle the sun is making it to Earth at right now, relative to us. So it makes it back into this blue area in the hall. And maybe back there where the spotlight hits, maybe that's where one of the stories might be shared. Or maybe right here. Maybe this is what you want to talk about. But the mystery font is a place for exploring intuition and illumination. It is a place for emancipation. And I invite you to consider what story, what vision you might want to explore creating here. This is the mystery font. And you are welcome here. What, as a human being and as an artist and as a mind, do you feel needs time and place? What needs the space that you know how to arrange for the moment to celebrate or explore what you want explored? No. Is there a way to meet what you see here? Is there a way that you can help us see with a story or with a song, with a conversation? Can you help us see something about what's happening here on this stolen land, in this era where fascism threatens us? What is happening? This dentist's office, this former dentist's office, was built in 1940. And thus there are different addresses in this building from this waiting room, this reflecting pool. And I'm asking that you consider ringing this bell, because things are happening. Like, certainly as much as any time in human history, there's a lot to be cognizant of. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot that we maybe want to foster, we want to go on. how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to do this? What is this place? And what exactly is a font of mystery? I mean, what is a public display of affection about, actually? Certainly, affect is about an alteration or a change, and maybe an emotional one, maybe one of revelation. And so maybe a public display of affection can be a display of potentially artifice or of craft, of art, for the sake of illumination. Maybe limiting light and directing light with care, curating how and where, and yet corresponding with the sun that is our anywhere. It makes sense to me anyway. It makes sense to me that this is a way to chart and locate a practice and focus light for meaning. And the mystery font in Weber Camden is now developing and streaming. That is, I am developing and streaming Mystery Font 42 Open2It. It's a web series, a program, essentially a video podcast. And all you really need to do to participate, if you'd like to be a part of it, is consider a conversation that you would like to prompt. It may be a piece of art. It may be a piece of performance. Perhaps you will bring the last 2 scenes from a dance work you're showing at Kohl's Center. Perhaps the act break before the intermission of a play that you don't want to see evaporate entirely and until its next production. Wouldn't it be lovely to have a document of what you and the artists who constructed that piece did? Wouldn't it be good to have a place where the artistic guest doesn't have to be doing a spot on the coast, but shows up here at the intersection of 42nd and Fremont North in Minneapolis, or any place in between the coasts? But I suggest that this is one North Star worth charting a course for just that reason. These unique portals and chambers, and what I dedicate my attention to and dedicate this space to, is seeking out the verity, fostering illumination, fostering intuition to open emancipation. And the mystery font connects to our deepest, furthest, most inner out most transcendent self, the Mysterium Tremendum. We are resonant beings, and I request that you consider bringing your resonance here, because by introducing resonances that might be of like mind together, we might foster something unique, or at least we'll know who we are to one another. And if you don't want to bring your song again, then maybe you'll know somebody who's better suited to this place. It's okay to be repulsed by something that you don't necessarily dislike. To say, that's not me. I don't think that's my bandwidth. I don't think that's my resonance. That's okay. But there are people, certainly, there are people with whom any of us can band together to form intuition, to form partnership and human family around kindness and love. And I believe that sharing stories and sharing ideas and sharing a space that can offer special views and vantages, that can offer special news and advantages, that with the synergy of creativity and a truly marvelous and bizarre catalytic space, this mystery font 42 open to it, this Mr. Rogers in the Twilight Zone, an exploration of things that matter to us, makes sense to me here. And by muting things just a bit and letting light in and starting to play, I think we have something here. I think we have something fun here. And fun is how we know we're onto something. Won't you consider what you would do with this assortment? You see, things fall and drop, and I'm new to this in a way each time. Like, right now, I'm just giving myself a bit of light to be able to find the batteries for my keyboard. And moving my camera stand out of the way brings me to show you that indeed I do believe fun is how we know we're onto something. What else lets us know we're going in the right direction? What do you trust? What do you do to foster your own intuition? And would you share it with the rest of the too cool to be held back by class? Can you share the love? You have insight. And if you would like to share a story, a dance, a painting, a question, it can be something you've worked on for years, or it can be something off the cuff. You don't have to have sung before to be a singer enough. What do you want to share so that we can see part of you, so that we can see part of Minneapolis or America that we don't yet know how to? Where are we going? Is this iceberg Project 2025? Where is it going? What is this? What is this place? I can tell you it's the Mystery Font 42. And it's where my art and my life have been saved with tranquility and meditation. And that the bizarre assortment of chambers and portals hold a way to see things that we can't maybe contact, but can observe and let observe us. What if rage and fear could sit on the opposite side of a portal and just agree to be here? What if they could learn to converse? What if we are restoring executive function one de-escalation at a time? What would Mr. Rogers do now? if he were here, this is what I think I would do. This is the Mystery Font 42. And if you'd like to share anything, please reach out. And let's see what happens here with the sun as it plays. I think it might actually touch the sign today if I let the sky get out of the way. Let's see. Maybe it's worth letting it happen if it's going to happen. So, all right. Well, I'm going to share if you have interest in sharing something here at the Mystery Font, please feel free to reach out and talk about it. Tell about your idea, about how you would like to foster it. How would you like to explore something that you feel could be a gift? Let's see. Let's see what this is. Let's see what you have to lift. I think there we are. Sometimes I just need to try to level. I'm not sure that it's okay. Even if Wes Anderson is watching, it's okay if it's not straight on. But sometimes I feel the need to take that time. So here we are at the font. Again, this is the transit of the sun outside, shining actually directly over the intersection of Fremont Avenue North and 42nd Avenue North in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So please feel free to get in touch, to be a part of Mystery Font 42, open to it, to come here and be a part of the Guest Artist Archive. If you have any thought, any story, something you would like to share, you can just step into the room and pronounce a question and leave it in the air. Or you can bring your company here and do 20 minutes of a play. If you have a podcast episode that needs not to go away, bring the people here for that conversation and let it have its way. And here at the font, I can also facilitate other kinds of things that aren't necessarily involved with the project of the Mystery Font and what I'm exploring. But if you do have ideas, or you think you might like to share and let us know what you are onto, part of what I'm looking at here is the falsehood. We all of us are in some way holding falsehood within us and participating in falsehood. And I believe that we can get better. We can be a kindness come. We can get better at delivering ourselves as kindness. And we can get better at perceiving falsehood in ourselves and in others. Who is the falsehood? I think we're all touched by this, but we are in an age of permuting falsehood. We are in an age of normalized falsehood breaking fact. And we're in an age when the falsehood has dawned, an age of falsehood, where one person or a group of people have collectively donned the falsehood. Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood?
And having a good relationship with Russia is a good thing, not a bad thing.
You've said you have no investments in Russia, but do you owe any money to Russian individuals and institutions?
No.
None.
The primary thing I did with Russia, I bought a house in Palm Beach at a bankruptcy. It was a bankrupt, person. I bought it from the banks. I bought it for about $40 million. I sold it for $100 million to a Russian. That was probably 5 years ago, and that was primarily it.
You partnered
now,
with
will I
Russians on the
sell?
Soho Grand. the
Will I
Toronto-
sell? Oh, many years ago. I don't think they're Russian. I think there were other people, but there were various partners. Will I sell condos to Russians on occasion? Probably. I mean, I do that. I have a lot of condos. I do that. But I have no relationship to Russia whatsoever.
No debts.
No debts. I have very little debt to anybody. I don't need debt. You know, it's very interesting. I'm so liquid, I don't need debt. And if I need debt, if I want debt, I can get it from banks in New York City very easily.
You know where I'm going to take this next. Americans could be assured on that if they saw your tax returns.
My tax returns are very simple. They're under a minor audit, routine audit, as they have been for many years. Every year I get audited. Now, I don't know if you get audited, but I have friends
I've
that are
been
very
audited.
wealthy that never have been audited. I say, do you get audited? I get audited every year. I'm under a routine audit, like routine. And I have been for years, every year.
But there are
If it's
several years that
finished,
are no longer
George,
under
here's
that
very
audit.
simple. Yeah, but they're all linked. It's called the link. It's very simple. If my audit's finished, that's great. Now, I have to tell you, I watched Mitt Romney 4 years ago. He waited till September to give him, just before the election. They made him look so bad. It was so unfair. I actually think he didn't lose because of the 47%. I think he lost because of a couple of really minor items in a tax return where he did nothing wrong. So it is unfair. But I will say, when I'm finished with the audit, I'll do it. And if
Richard
that's
Nixon
before the
released his,
election,
even though his were under audit.
don't use Richard Nixon as necessarily the guide, okay? I mean, you know, it's an interesting person to use, but don't use it.
Who is the falsehood indeed? Darvo is something that comes up somewhat frequently here in the search for ways to perceive, to hend, to prehend, and apprehend the falsehood. Understanding the tools used by narcissists under attack to deny, to attack, and reverse victim and offender, to deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender, deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender can be helpful. To perceive it when it's happening and to know how to foster your own safe piloting of consent and safety and agency. Emancipation is universal, or it isn't. What are we onto here? And do you have something that you would be willing to share? It doesn't have to be everything. It just has to be you. And I would want to share with you something like a song that I wrote for my mother, about my mother, and about kindness. And I am going to share it and let it be emblem of one way that sharing here might look. But it really, the point is that it is and can be whatever you want. Whatever you want to foster and see gifted to people here, please consider reaching out to share something. This is what I'd like to share with you today. Come, be one, new under the sun. We are a kindness come, we are a kindness come. We are a kindness come. Our kindness is where our kindness comes from. Please remember you are one human on one spectrum. With every symptom, you are a kindness come. Our kindness is where our kindness comes from.